And welcome to a very special edition of the Screen Team on today's Talk 930 KWOC and 93.3 FM. We like to do a lot of themed movie shows. Everything a couple months ago, we did a cooking show. We are doing something. What's wrong, Sabrina? I just started talking, and you're already upset about something, man. Can't you just let me talk for 2 seconds?
Yes, I can. Just disregard my anxiety and anger.
Just disregard it.
Just disregard.
That's kind of hard to do. You're kind of a big personality.
I was kind of wondering where the camera was. We didn't get to videotape this edition?
No, we're not videotaping.
I'm really sad about that because
Kim told me, Kim was like, do not videotape
This is Kim's
me.
fault?
Yes.
No, it's not my
yeah,
fault.
she told me ahead of time. She texted me, do not bring that video camera.
No.
I have a
I'm
hard
not
time believing
disappointed.
that. Because she looks freaking awesome right now, and I'm just going to say. But, yeah, I now I have to carry the show verbally.
You can do it. I have faith in you. I'll just be your
This is
sidekick.
an important show.
Should we tell
Very
everybody what
important.
we're doing, Sabrina?
Yes, it's all about adoption.
Adoptions.
Yes.
That's right. Adoption is something that's very close to all three of us.
Yes.
We've all adopted our children, and they're all amazing in each and every single way. And Kim was actually kind of our quote-unquote sponsor for adopting
She's our
Luke.
coach.
She's our
Loved
coach.
it. He's
She's like, get back in there,
very
guys.
blessed to be able
Yeah,
to
we
help
need to get
you.
back in there. I say that now, and then I go, oh, I'm so tired.
Here, Luke.
I had a
here's the,
6-year
here's,
span
here's the
between
You
tablet.
want,
Too.
you want ice cream for breakfast? Sure.
Here's the tablet. Mommy needs to go back to bed.
That's so true. It is.
There you go.
It's 6 a.m. What?
But adoption is very close to all three of us, and we wanted to do something very cool, a theme show here where it's all about movies about adoption. So we're going to be reviewing a movie called Then She Found Me, the classic movie musical Annie, and then Juno for, I guess, the grown-ups and who are listening right now. So three different kind of movies about adoption. And our first one is a movie called Then She Found Me. This movie came out in 2007. It's a film that stars Helen Hunt, but also Helen Hunt wrote some of the screenplay, and she also directed the film as well. And what I wanted each of us to do was to pick a movie that had to do with adoption. So Sabrina picked Juno, Kim picked Annie, and I didn't know which one I wanted to do. So I was looking through a lot of different movies about adoption, and this one kind of caught my eye. I looked at the cast: Helen Hunt, Bette Midler, Matthew Broderick, all actors I like and enjoy, and I thought, well, this one looks like
What a dynamic cast.
yeah. I was like, okay, sign me up for this, and it looked it didn't look like a box office attraction. It looked kind of independent. So I'm
Lifetime?
yeah, not Lifetime. Come on, man. But it looked like something that would intrigue me, and this movie's really, really weird. Helen Hunt, she is an adoptive child. Her mom adopted her when she was, I guess, a baby or something like that, and she grew up her entire life as an adopted child. Well, now she's older. She got married. The marriage didn't work so well. They got a divorce, I guess, her and Matthew Broderick in the movie, and her biological clock is ticking. She wants a kid pretty bad, and she's having issues. She's obviously having issues with her ex-husband. She's having issues with her new boyfriend, and there's a lot of stuff going on with this particular movie. A lot of different side things going on, and one of the other side things going on is Helen Hunt meets her biological mother, Bette Midler, who is spacey and weird and a liar and a lot of different things wrapped up in one. So this
a TV celebrity.
a TV celebrity too. Yeah, this movie has a lot of drama pieces all wrapped up in one. So when you're watching Helen Hunt's character, she's not doing so good.
She's mad and confused the entire movie.
And so are the viewers, man, because you're watching this film and you're like, okay, why is this happening? Why is Helen Hunt, why is she acting this way? And you're like, don't do that, do this. You're trying to encourage Helen Hunt's character to do the right thing, and she's not doing it. And as far as my review for this movie goes, I pretty much hated this entire film until the last 5 to 10 minutes. The last 5 to 10 minutes, I was like, oh, okay, all right. But the first hour and a half, you're like, Helen Hunt or Bette Midler or whoever else. So I would say it's at least worth a watch. But after that, I'm done with it. What did you guys think?
Do you want to go or shall I go?
I'll let you go, then I'll go.
All right. So, Chris, I disagree almost completely.
Hold on.
And at the same
when you
time,
were watching,
agree a lot with what you said. And the reason I can get away with saying that is because I'm me. Because, no, seriously, like, I agree that there is so much going on in this movie. There are a lot of aspects of the movie. There's content. There's so much content that it's almost overwhelming and you can't keep up with it. And you don't get all of the story at pretty much any given time.
Yeah.
And so from that, I will say, yes, I can completely understand why Chris hates this movie. You end up asking so many questions while you're watching the movie that you can't keep track of which questions you've asked, hoping you'll get an answer to. And the only reason I can say I liked it, is because I like the beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
I like the
you
fact
like the whole journey.
I liked the journey, but it's because I can accept the fact that it's a New Yorker movie. Yeah. And when I say it's a New Yorker movie, if you have ever, from our world here in the Midwest, had to be completely engrossed or completely in what's the word I want, immersed in New Yorker kind of people, that's what you get. You don't get all of the details. You get all of the emotion. Right. And this movie is completely emotionally driven. And it's not in the way that you're expecting. It's not a, oh my gosh, I'm in love. There's no love in this movie.
I don't think Helen Hunt, she does not smile throughout this entire film.
Yeah.
I mean, she was just like,
she's mad and
very
confused. And her face is that way the entire time.
It is.
Because choices and emotions are constantly her emotions are constantly driving her choices. And the same thing goes for her husband, ex-husband, her mother, her brother, her biological mother. I mean, she goes through divorce, death, and infertility, all within the first 20 minutes of the movie.
Right.
So the rest of the movie is confusing. Number one reason, because if you were in that situation, how would you feel?
Right.
Man,
you would be angry
she's on fire.
and confused.
You're on fire, girl. Wow.
Okay, well, I still did not care for the movie. I'm sorry.
I felt like it was a big puzzle that I was there to try and solve,
Right.
and so I was stimulated by the movie. I accepted that it was a New Yorker kind of movie. You know, I didn't... Watching Seinfeld when I was a kid confused the fire out of me. I didn't know what was so funny about all the weird stuff they were talking about. But it's that personality, it's that environment, and that this movie has a lot of that in it.
Right.
Just really, why would you act that way? Oh, because that's okay where they grow.
Well, and I guess I agree, like, with what you all said. They didn't give a lot of the background. Like, there were so many unanswered questions throughout this whole movie. Like, throughout the movie, every time the word adoption come up, as far as, like, her mother, when her mother was dying, or very sick, you needed, since you can't conceive on your own, you need to consider adoption. And she was totally, no, I want to have my own child, adopt from, it was a...
China.
A little China, China. No, she wanted, she was just dead
Don't
set.
you want to look at someone's face and see your own? And that's what
Right.
she says to her mother, who is
Yes.
deathly ill and who adopted her.
Right.
But then also had the opportunity to have a baby. And
Right.
she is sitting across from her mother and her brother, who was born naturally to her mother. And she says, I want what you had with him.
Yeah.
And he
wanted-
eventually says, I would have liked to have had what you two had.
Exactly.
Can you imagine being the natural brother
Yeah.
in a family where there's an adopted child?
Right.
Can you imagine? Well, I mean, maybe we can, maybe we can't. And Chris brought up something when we were doing the after discussion. He said, I'd like to have heard more from the brother.
Yeah.
But we weren't there to watch the brother. We were there to watch Helen's character.
Right.
Another thing, I guess, watching it, throughout the whole movie, it didn't feel like how you guys are talking. It didn't feel like a pro-adoption movie. It didn't feel like that until the very end. I don't want to give anything away, but it was just like, come on, man, let's speak out on how awesome this experience is. But It didn't do that,
Yeah.
Yes, with the whole movie, I was just sitting there watching it, and like I said, literally, like the last maybe 15 seconds of the movie, I had tears in my eyes.
You were finally emotionally
and I was
driven.
like, oh, yes.
Yeah.
I was happy with how it ended.
Yeah.
It was just that whole me sitting there the entire time watching it, leading up to those last 15 seconds.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I watched it.
I'll tell you this too, as an adopting parent, we can all maybe relate to this. When we started our journey to adopt, and that was just with the decision to adopt, she's still fighting the decision to adopt. Can you remember before you decided to adopt how you felt?
Right.
You're angry and confused.
Yep.
True. Very true. All right, it's called Then She Found Me. It stars Helen Hunt and Bette Midler and Matthew Broderick. Coming up after the break, we're going to review Annie. That's next on Today's Talk 930 KWOC.